Hi there, you're welcome to another insightful episode of Mending Bridges, the show that inspires you to live a chaste, focused, and purposeful life. My name is Chichi Ogbonnaya. Feel free to call me a force to reckon with. Today on the show, I'll be continuing a discussion I started a few weeks ago, I think about 2 weeks ago, talking about insecurities. I shared a bit about how we should manage our insecurities, being aware that we all have one form of insecurity or another, but we shouldn't let it keep us down from being all that we ought to be as an individual. I did mention that it is very important for you to embrace the whole of you with love, joy, and contentment, knowing that God has given you everything that you need to live a godly life, a life full of fulfillment. Today I want to continue that conversation, and I have decided to bring to this edition a very beautiful young lady. Her name is Ronke. She's a medical doctor and also one who is passionate about community health care. Ronke is a child of God, like she likes to say. She loves good music and she's extremely quiet and calm. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining me today on the program.
I'm honored to be here.
You look very calm. Okay, so I want to continue the conversation on insecurity. I'm sure you watched the last episode.
Yes, I did.
Can you tell me one thing you learned from that episode?
The one thing I took away from it is loving myself.
Okay.
Loving the whole me,
you.
appreciating myself even when nobody tells me how beautiful I am, how good I am, or what I've done in the day that feels achievable to me. I learned to just look at myself in the mirror and just compliment myself.
I must say you're very beautiful too. Without the makeup and all, you're absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining me on the show today. So I want to ask, do you believe everybody on earth that we all have one form of insecurity or another?
Yeah, at a particular point in life, everybody goes through a phase, and then there comes one insecurity or the other, either by trying to achieve something at a particular stage and then you feel like you're not achieving it or you've not gotten there, and you see your mates or other people doing what you have written down as your plan, like, okay, so this is my plan, this is what I want to achieve in 5 years, and then comes 5 years and you're nowhere down that line. Yeah, so everybody comes across one form of insecurity or another in this whole world.
So we all have one insecurity that we're battling with.
Everybody does.
Okay, so what are some of the causes of insecurities? What are those things I can point out, the reasons people go through this phase?
Okay, it's a big one, but I'm going to stick to maybe 3-4 that are most common. One is childhood.
Okay.
There's sometimes that people, they face some things in childhood, like maybe being raped, being abused by a father or a friend, or somebody trusted someone to them, and then they carry that thing from childhood, which becomes a trauma for them. So whatever people go through in their childhood can become a past trauma.
Okay.
They're interlinked. Some people kind of make it different, so they can say maybe childhood and then trauma. But sometimes the trauma from childhood can take that form of insecurity into adulthood, teenager then adulthood. Another one is social anxiety.
Okay.
In this age we are today, that everything is digitalized, technology here and there. Some people are afraid of being confident, or they feel like if I go to this social gathering or this social event, I wouldn't know what to say, and they just try as much as possible to shy away from social gatherings. So the failure of being evaluated at a social gathering can come across as a kind of insecurity, and some people, they're just too perfect for their own good. So there's that comes across as insecurity too. They want everything to be perfect. They want everything to go top notch, and they forget that life is not perfect.
Yes.
We have to go through some bumps on the road.
Absolutely.
So when they're doing good and everything is going according to their plan, they feel like, oh yeah, I'm getting it all together. And then when there's a bump in the road, then it feels like, oh my God, how did I get here? Am I not good enough? Maybe I'm not okay enough. Maybe I didn't do this enough. So perfection perfectionism at times. It's another form of insecurity. And then there's one common one that 85% of people go through: rejection, experience of failure or rejection, either from a friend or a spouse, a parent, a trusted ally, or something. So people that have gone through experiences of failures in relationships, in friendships, in class, in anything that they maybe put their hope or trust in someone and then they've been rejected. Yeah, so experiences of failures and rejection also brings a whole lot of insecurity, and that's for me, that's my number one top list of insecurities, the causes of insecurities that people go through.
Thank you so much. I like the fact that you made reference to childhood. Some people go through a traumatizing situation during their childhood, and it goes on, and as an adult they don't know how to manage it, and it leads to a sense of insecurity. You also talked about social media, and I want to ask you a question. How much role do you think social media plays on people's insecurities?
Back when I was growing up, we didn't have much of social media to go with. So there was no access for a lot of things we do today: Facebooking, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and a lot of all those things. But in this digitalized technology age, a lot of people put their a lot of people raise the bar of their own self based on what somebody else is doing on social media, and they don't know that not everything on social media is fake, but 85% of what is on social media is fake. Some people just come there, plaster themselves up, and then they pose and do this, and somebody else that is actually doing something in their life will look at that person and be like, wow, she's 25, I'm 28, and she's all there, and I'm just here. You don't know what the person is actually going through behind the scenes. So social media, in as much as it is good, it's informative, educative, there's also a bad side to social media, and that is too much insecurity that comes from social media by people gauging themselves on what they see other people doing on social media, and it breeds a lot of insecurities. And in this age we are, people don't really get to talk to people anymore, so have a sit down with someone and then tell them, oh, this is what I'm going through, this is what happened to me yesterday. They just go straight on social media and then they pick celebrities as role models. I'm not saying it's bad that you can have a celebrity crush, maybe the way the person acts or the way the person talks or anything like that. It's good, but some people try to live their lives through a particular person, a particular social media person, or a particular celebrity. So this is what this person eats, I have to eat this way. This is what this person wears, I have to wear what she wears, forgetting that we're two different individuals. You can get one thing from somebody, but don't live your life just mirroring the person, and that's what social media does to a whole lot of people. Music, pictures, and people don't read informative news or messages today. They just go, what wig are they using, what makeup is trending, what shoes, what bags, and then they just do a lot of all that. And if they're not up to par, and then they feel like they've not gotten anything yet, they're nowhere near where, and then insecurity comes and they start beating themselves up about what it is that they've not yet achieved, instead of focusing on what they've actually done. And just be grateful for that.
Thank you so much. So at the last episode, I shared my own personal story with insecurity. And basically the summary is, we all have one form of insecurity or another. There is no perfect body anywhere. There is no perfect person anywhere. I want you to share your story. Have you at any point in time struggled with any form of insecurity?
Oh yeah, a lot. I've struggled with insecurity.
I like the fact that you're smiling. It shows that you've overcome it.
Yeah, I'm still in the process of overcoming some.
Okay.
But I have overcome. I have gone through some, and I overcame. And it was after the whole experience, it kind of made me stronger than I thought I used to be. It made me stronger. It made me focused and determined. It made me want to always pause, so I don't rush through life, because I believe that there's a season and time for everything. Like Ecclesiastes says that there's a season and time for everything, and then it just makes me want to pause. If I'm getting overwhelmed, I just pause and I just go like, okay, I'm on a break for now. I need to re-strategize. I need to look at, okay, what is it that I'm doing, or how do I do this thing from another angle? Okay, so I'll pick one of my insecurities. So when I was growing up, I had this. I'm a doctor today, and that road was a tough one. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a doctor or a nurse or somebody that just cares for people. I just had that in me. I come from a single parent home, so it was just my mom and then 3 of us with 3 kids, and she did all that by herself. So I always wanted to be like, okay, so as the first child of the family, I have to grow up to be something and then help my mom. And when we were growing up, it's the serious subject you can do, or the serious profession you can pick is you can either be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or, those 3 things. Anything outside that does not really portray you as serious. But I always wanted to help people. Along the line, after secondary school, everything went fine. Then university came, and I bounced from one university to the other. And it just, at one point in that phase, I got an admission into Lagos State University. And one time like that, the people that had money and influence, like 150 of us that got our course, and we got our courses. I got my medicine, all my friends got what they wanted. It was time to pay for school fee, and we went to the bursar's office, and lo and behold, they just told us, poof, like that. Our name was not more on that list. And it took a whole lot to assimilate all that at my teenage years. I was already happy, oh God, I've gotten into university, medicine, here I come, and all that. And then that began a whole series of depression. But because it was just my mom, there was really nobody I could talk to. So I had to just put on this face of, okay, so I'm the first child. She's out there looking for what her children will eat. She doesn't need to get bothered by all this. To cut the long story short, I just bounced and bounced from university to university. Then, as God would have it, an opportunity came up. I already gave up on medicine at that point. I was like, okay, fine, I'm not doing medicine again. I don't want to. If this is the road to being a doctor, then it's too tough. I'm tired. And I opted for aviation. So at one point, I wanted to be a pilot. And God just has a way of just bringing you back to that place He wants you to be. And I went with my mom that day that, okay, so let me go and pay for an aviation school and just start the course. And in the process of meeting the GM of that aviation school, he was like, am I sure this is what I want to do? And I'm like, no, this is not what I want to do, but this is what I'm settling for because I'm tired. All of my mates, all of my friends, they're already in the university. I was once in a university. I had to go through a pre-degree course just to get into the school, and now I got into the school, then I'm out of the school. It's just too much for me to handle. I don't think I can do that anymore. And he just told me, he said, okay, so if this is not what I want to do, I should just persevere. I don't even know, the man does not know me from anywhere. I was going to pay money for aviation school to him, and somehow he just said that and just shifted me back to that. Okay, so you still have to keep pushing. And before I knew it, one thing led to another. Then poof, I was off to Russia. Poof, I went into medical school. On the road to medical school, I got sick. I was sick for 6 months, and then I had to drop 1 year. That began another insecurity journey for me because my mates that we started together, they were already a year ahead of me, and I was in the junior class, they were in the senior class, and I was like, okay, so this is not really working for me. And that took me through a whole lot of, okay, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not brilliant enough, maybe I'm not intelligent enough. And I started seeing myself a whole lot different. I don't relate with, at that point, I didn't relate with people, I don't relate with anyone. I just go to class, I come back, I lay on my bed, I cry for a whole lot, and then I eat if I want to eat, I sleep if I want to sleep. I fasted a whole lot, I prayed maybe God is not answering me enough. Maybe it's something I did or what I didn't do. Or maybe I'm not supposed to have come all the way to Europe to study medicine. Maybe medicine is not the way. There were a lot of questions that kept running through my head.
So what pulled you through that process?
I had a pastor.
Okay.
And this is where talking or seeking help comes in. It wasn't really my pastor per se. He just came around one time and he visited and we just got talking. And it was like every time he sees me, I look sad. And I'm like, I'm all right. It's the normal language. I'm okay. I'm all right. And it was like, no, I'm not all right. If I want to share, he will be ready to listen. And I spoke with him and it was like, okay, instead of staying in this environment where I feel choked, why not change environment? And I changed school.
Okay.
And I changed my school. Even though I had to repeat the year, it was a new environment for me. It was a different one. So I was in a completely different environment and it kind of changed my directive.
Okay.
I met new people that didn't know me. So it felt like, okay, so I'm a fish in a new water where nobody knows.
And it felt safe.
I felt safe. Nobody knew me from where I was coming from. Nobody knew I repeated classes. I didn't feel like a failure. I was just a whole new being. And from there on out, the journey became less depressing. It became less stressful. I started becoming happy. I had new friends. I was more into the whole medicine. I was more focused. I started seeing positive sides to myself, and I started seeing a lot of things I could actually become in the future. And it was a whole journey.
Amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing. You know, sometimes a lot of people don't understand that when they are going through a phase that seems difficult or find themselves in that situation where they feel insecure about certain aspect of their life, sometimes what you need to do is actually move.
Yeah.
What you need to do is change environment.
Completely.
Completely.
Change friends.
Change friends. But sometimes a lot of people don't know they need to change their friends. That the reason you're feeling insecure about yourself is probably your friends.
Yeah.
You know, they keep bringing you down, telling you the wrong things.
They just keep measuring you with what you used to be instead of looking at what you can be in the future. Now all the people that I met in my school that I graduated from, they didn't know my past. And when we became doctors, I was like, wow, so well. And here it is. The journey was like almost 13 years, but we finally did it. We made it. No judgment, no nothing. It had its ups and downs, but we did it. We came here. We were here. We won. We conquered. We saw it all. And like that, we became doctors. And now we're like, okay, so we're doctors already. What next after this?
Congratulations. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And thank you for coming on today's edition of Mending Bridges. I want to say that regardless of the insecurity you might be feeling right now, she mentioned some things I would like to reiterate. Some of you need to get off social media. See, what you see online, mostly people's photoshopped lives. Nobody brings their downtimes on social media. We all bring our best foot forward on social media. People want to show their finest clothes. They want to show their finest cars. They want to tell you they're doing well on their jobs. Nobody really comes out to tell you, oh, today I got a query from my supervisor. Nobody comes to say, oh, today I messed up on a project. Very few people are real online. So it's absolutely wrong for you to measure your life based on those things you see on social media. Like she also mentioned, there's nothing wrong in looking at all these people doing well and admiring them and, you know, wanting to maybe be like them, you know, but you shouldn't measure your life based on what they have achieved. Their life should inspire you to want to be better. Their life should make you see that, oh, okay, if this person can achieve this, then I can as well get this. Then again, I need you to understand, she said something that she met a pastor who she eventually confided in. I need you to understand that there is absolutely nothing wrong with getting that one person that you trust, that person that you can pour your heart to. If you watch the episode on an accountability partner that I had last 2 weeks, I think, you just go on my page and search for accountability partner and you see that episode. There's nothing wrong in getting someone that you trust enough that you can confide in so they can walk you through that process of whatever downtime that you're going through. And she mentioned God. The truth is, I always say this, God answers the minutest of prayers. Regardless of how small it is, He answers the minutest of prayers. Thank you so much once again
for having me
today.
I'm so
excited to be here. Thank you. I hope you'll come next time.
Yes, I definitely will. It is interesting.
Thank you so much. So till I come your way next time, this is Mending Bridges, the show that inspires you to live a chaste, focused, and purposeful life. My name is Chichi Obunaya. Feel free to call me a first to record.